Around about the time that I started water skiing was when I realized that it was sort of the thing that I wanted to pursue for my whole life. And I think I started skiing when I was about 4, but I'd been exposed to it a lot before through my parents. I was at the lake every weekend, and I was given the opportunity, and I kind of just sort of fell in love with it. So I'd have been pretty young when I decided that water skiing was what I wanted to do. Not long after my first ski set, when I was about 4 or 5, and my parents definitely encouraged me, and so I sort of, it set me on a path to where I am today. I want to win the worlds in 2 months' time. That's the big aim in the short term, and I think I don't know in the longer term. I mean, I think being a sportsman, it's all about sort of fairly short term goals. The big ones have been the World Championship in 2017, the Masters in 2019, and the Masters earlier this year. Those are the big three sort of that I'd really hang my hat on being the ones that I'll be very proud of until my dying day. But there was a time when I definitely didn't think I was going to get to this point. So it's really gratifying to have got past that sort of harder period. Well, the guy I looked up to most when I was young, it was very obvious. I'm British, so Andy Mappel was, not only was he the best guy ever, he was British, so I was sort of drawn to him. But also guys, Glenn Campbell, who I consider a really good friend now. All the British skiers, Jodie Fisher, even a little bit Will Asher, who I ski against now. But he's 8 years older than I am. A guy who I looked up to, and then I sort of ended up competing against him. So that's quite funny, really, isn't it? Hopefully, continues to do so. When I was about 10 years old, I was in my school report for rugby. I was told that I was tenacious, and I think that that's something that I brought into my water skiing. I think I'm tenacious. It would be pretty accurate. I go for it. I don't mess around, and I try. I don't think I'm beaten until I'm beaten. I often hear that my skiing is not like poetry in motion. It grinds my gears a little bit. I always hear that I sort of just pull hard, turn hard, and get it done through muscle mass. But I think that if my skiing was described in such a way, then I'd be pretty gratified, because I do put a lot of time and effort, a huge amount of time and effort, into trying to be a more technical skier, so that things go easier. To run a perfect performance it's hard. There's a lot that goes into it, but I would say state of mind is right up there. I mean, it's a very mental sport. The things that I can control, my physical fitness, my equipment, I think those are all things that if they're not right when I go to a tournament, then I've really screwed up. Those things should be a given. I mean, I feel nervous all the time. Like I'm a warrior, and I think I get kind of more and more stressed as I get older in some ways. It's a strange one. I mean, because I put more and more into what I'm doing. So, for example, before the Masters Championships this year, I mean, I was a ball of nerves for 2 weeks beforehand, and then I got towards it, and fortunately was able to sort of overcome that. I think that the worst thing to do is to not be nervous, and then to get there on the day and then just completely freak out. So I was trying almost to embrace that before, ahead of time, so that I could kind of, almost calm down, get over the hill, to be ready when the time came.